Sorry, I was saying that we started recording the webinar. Thomas, there is someone from Transelec that we should wait or that is joining us?
No, let's go.
Okay, perfect. We can start then. So welcome everyone to this webinar. As I said before, the idea of this webinar is to explain you the program and tell you the timeline and what we're going to expect. Please, someone can confirm that you are seeing my screen in the chat. Okay, thanks for that. So my name is Renato Cachutolo. I'm the startup scouter for Imagine. Today also Fernando is joining us. He's the open innovation leader at Imagine. And from the client side, there is Thomas Riedel. He's the leader of Transelec Ventures. The idea of this meeting, as I said before, this webinar is to explain you how the program is going to be, what are the objectives of the program, and also what are we looking in each challenge. You can ask questions at any time. Please feel free to interrupt. I believe that all the participants can speak. If that's not the case with you, please, you can write in the chat. We're going to see it as well. So that's the aim for this. As a context, we're going to explain a little bit of what is Imagine and then what is Transelec. Imagine is an incubator, accelerator, and VC here in Chile. We have a 10-year experience in the market. We have done at least 35 innovation programs with different companies in different industries, and we have invested in different companies, always on the technological side and digital side. More than 120 startups invested, and today we have a 10 million fund that invest in the future of work and future of finance, mostly. Probably, you know, some of these, companies or accelerators in our network, because that's the way you knew about this program and this webinar. Our network goes through different countries and different continents, and the idea of that is access to more innovation solutions. And probably you're going to hear a lot that we talked about startups, but the idea of this program is to find innovative solutions, not necessarily a startup. The idea is to solve the issue that Transelec has. So Transelec is one of the main energy transmission company in Chile. It has more than 10,000 kilometers of transmission line with 69 substations and 280 million in EBITDA. Just as a context, Chile is a really long country, so it's more than 4,000 kilometers long. So you get the idea on how wide is how long is the country and the impact that they can have. And also they are invested by different companies from abroad. And here we have Thomas that is going to explain us a little bit what is the focus they have on open innovation and what is Transelec Ventures focus on.
Perfect. Thank you, Renato, and thank you everybody for joining. Well, what is our goal with Transelec Ventures? To explain that, I want to tell you that Transelec is a big company and we have been doing innovation and internal portfolio for the last 7 years mainly. Yeah, so last year we decided to launch Transelec Ventures just to systematize and do a better relation and collaboration with startups to solve our challenges. We are running a venture client model. That means that we pick winners that become our supplier or work with us in a few months in a pilot, in a really short pilot, just to see if the technology works, what suggestions do we have, what adaptations do we need to make to the solution, because we launch challenges related to our core. So we will find problems, we will tell you the problems, you propose us a solution, we test it, and if it goes well, then we open up the conversation to a longer relationship, investment, whatever. But that's the model. So we pilot first the solutions, and then we take next steps. So what it is, the Transelec Ventures vehicle is exactly that, a new vehicle dedicated to launching open innovation challenges and solve them together with the startups and you guys. Why are we doing this? Because we understood, and I think that pretty much everybody is understanding that the best capacity is to create innovative solutions, good solutions, fast solutions are outside the big companies like us. And what are we doing this for? Of course, that to solve relevant problems in a radical different way that we are doing today, or that we can come up internally. So that's why we are open these challenges to you.
Perfect. Just as a context, this is the second innovation program that Transelec does with Imagine. The first one is currently in the pilot phase, proof of concept in some cases. Last year, they selected 6 companies to start working with them, and they have continued working in this following months. So that's like a big also proof of intention on Transelec Venture side, that they're really interested, and it's not only for a marketing program, if not, it's a hands-on program. And the focus, as on the left side of the screen says, the idea is this program is to find a venture client or strategic provider initially as a non-controlling equity-free model. Also, this program doesn't have any cost. That's also a question that we usually receive. As I continue, now we're gonna show you like the program, how it goes. So we are in the open call process or part of the program until the 30th of July. Then we're gonna have a pre-selection phase. Then we have a validation phase and a selection committee. I'm gonna explain you a little bit how it goes. The idea of this is that we're gonna wait until everybody applies until the 30th of July. Then together with Transelec, we're gonna choose some of the companies that are gonna join us in the validation phase. Those companies in the validation phase are gonna start working on defining how the pilot is gonna be with Transelec and ask more questions about how they can implement the solution. There, the idea is that you're gonna present a pilot or a proof of concept proposal in the selection committee, and then Transelec is gonna decide with which companies they want to follow and start a pilot with. Some benefits to be part of this is if your solution is chosen, you will have the possibility of accessing a paid pilot with Transelec, as I said, probably possibility of testing the solution on high voltage lines and substation in operation with Transelec data, of course, possibility of scaling the implementation to all Transelec facilities. As I said before, they have a lot of transmission, a huge transmission line, and also a lot of substations. Scaling a commercial acceleration of the solution in collaboration with Transelec, depending on the results and also what is your aim for your solution. And of course, a Google Cloud credits for eligible startups, and also depending on what is your aim in that regard. So let's go to the challenges. I'm gonna stop here for a sec. If anyone have questions of the program, not necessarily on the challenges, you can also use this space to ask some questions. So this is more a conversation, not a presentation so stiff. Okay, apparently everything is Feña, puedes verificar que todos puedan hablar, por favor? Thanks. So if you have any questions, please let us know. Apparently there is no question so far. So we're gonna go with the challenges. Here we have the first one. The first one is immersive solution and digital experience. Here is the problem of accessing data is not easy. Also, the idea on this is to focus on how can we remove some part of the daily operation that are not useful for Transelec. So, for example, determine what is going to happen. Don't go into each facility to know what is wrong or what is not working. Interventions that require high expertise and know-how can we train those people, but not on the training that that is going to be in a simpler way, like, I don't know, guidelines, if not on how to, for example, have a transmitter digital, so the person can experience some of the real difficulties that he will have on the field to give maintenance to some equipment, or as how they would experience things in real life to become more experienced in the actual job. Thomas, I don't know if you want to add something in this regard.
Um, yes. Well, you explained really well the problem. There's a bunch of use cases that we can implement based on this challenge, because this is more an opportunity than a real problem. I mean, we have a lot of things that we could cover with this one. So yes, first thing is that we have a lot of workers on site doing inspection, attending failures, and doing maintenance. And for them to access the data is not easy. It's not even digital. So we have data that they can use in a better way that we are still not doing. Also, there's a lot of other data that is not even digital. So they need to go to folders, physical folders, to search for information. So that is the first opportunity. Then they know what would happen is related to simulations. For us to know what would happen, for example, if the temperature goes up by 10 degrees in a certain line, is helpful, because then we can planificate and we can make programs to attend those cases if they happen. And we are still not in the phase of modeling those things. We, for example, digital twins or things like that that could help us to know different scenarios for our lines will be helpful. Then, well, be on site, visit facilities. We have a lot of facilities, just as Renato said. And go is, of course, expensive. Chile is a long country. Travel is long. We have long distances to travel. So be on site, visit the facilities is not always possible, and when possible, is maybe expensive. So be on site remotely will be also a nice to have. The interventions here, we require a lot of know-how and a lot of experienced people to do the things, because just they know, if we had maybe some digital or augmented reality tools that help us, I don't want to close to those kind of solutions. I am just giving examples, but those kind of things to help us to maybe not depend on these high expertise or high experienced people, stuff like that. And well, training, this is a really common use case of immersive solution and training for people. Today, we are still doing training in a really classic way. Down there, you can see some of these big systems that we have. We have an SAP with all of the inventory of Transelec, all of the transactions, all of the maintenance, etc. Then we have an AMS. This is a development from Transelec internally. And that system has all the inspections of the transmission lines. Anything that happened, anything that is broken, anything that is, I don't know, down, will be in this application where the workers upload the information. Then we have a SIG or a GIS. This is the geographical system that we use. You can see in a map all the facilities with its name, its static data, the name, the distance, the materials, whatever, in a map. This is really helpful for us, because since all of what we do is geographical, a lot of people use this one. And then we have the Go. This is also a proprietary development. And there we have all the interventions and all the works that will be done in the short term. What work, what people will do it, what is the process of doing that work, what security things are we considering, etc. So this is just an example. We have a lot of other smaller systems, but in these ones you can find a lot of data, a lot of correlated data between assets, inspections, positions, whatever works.
Perfect. Thank you, Thomas. Also, as Thomas was saying, the idea of this conversation is to give examples, not to limit the possibilities of the solution. Here, the idea is to open up and hear your solution in immersive solutions and digital experience. So if there's something that we didn't mention and your solution does, that is welcome as well. The idea of doing open innovation is not only to have an idea on what is in the market, but also that you, as the experienced guys, and your solution give us some examples on how can be implemented. Here, the desire, as Thomas was explaining, is gather real information for monitoring, training, and data analysis of the electrical facilities. The idea is that in different ways, as the examples we were given, you can tell us how your solution can improve in a digital experience way some of the daily operations. So if you have any questions regarding this challenge, you can also ask. Yes, go.
I will just say, Renato, that this is the most open challenge because this is really available to receive different solutions, different technologies, different use cases, all regarding immersive solutions.
Perfect. So if you have any questions, please let us know. We're gonna leave space for questions as well at the end, but if you want to ask specific questions in each challenge, it's okay as well. So the second challenge is automating monitoring of substations construction. Here, the idea is as a company, Transelec gives the contract of the construction to other companies. So they are not on site and they need a way of knowing what is happening in each construction site. There, the idea is to focus on progress, status, quality of work, performance, security compliance, workload, and data analysis. Comparison between projects to also know, for example, that one project is doing better because they're doing things differently than others. To give an idea of how big Transelec is, they are currently doing 160 projects. They go from different sizes each project. Each project takes between 12 and 36 months. And they have already planned 7 substations to start by 2024. In this case, what we're focusing on is create a digital and automated project inspection tool. I think the right translation for English participants will be owner's engineer. The owner engineer is the person that verify and give like a consultancy in the projects, in construction project. Here in Chile and I think in all Latin America, it's called in a different way because it doesn't have a strategic focus as the owner's engineer. The idea here is only to focus on the inspection that goes as quality and verify that things are going according to the plan, not as telling the people how to construct things or giving better, let's say, ideas or out of the plan solutions. That it goes like owner's engineer outside has a bigger scope, and here it's ITO is called, is an inspector, like a technical inspector that they focus only on QA and inspection and verify that things are going according to plan. Here they have legal also responsibility. So that's the aim of this challenge. And the idea is to find a way to not replace that person because legally, I don't know if Transelec can do that, but to give a hand to Transelec to know what is going on real time in each substation while they're doing the construction. Tomas, I don't know if you want to add something here.
Yes, can you go back to the previous slide, please? I want to explain, well, you did it properly, but I just want to explain how that coordination between parts is done. Transelec wins a public tender to build a facility, a substation or line. When we have that one already and need to construct, we hire a constructor, a third-party constructor, which is the upper image in those people.
Yeah.
So we hire the constructor to monitor and control how the constructor is doing the work. We also hire this ITO inspection guy. How do you call it, Renato?
Owner's engineer, but it's like, let's say
engineer.
technical inspector. It's a good definition.
Okay. So through the technical inspector, we get to know how the work is going, how the progress is going, what is the workload at a certain moment. So you can tell that we have a lot of projects, and in all of those projects, we have different technical inspectors, different constructors also. So the way in that we get information about progress, about performance, about the quality, about the security compliance, about everything is different from project to project. So that's why we wrote that phrase, we are not on site. We need a tool to be on site and to monitor and control all of those parameters or data, not only to do so, not only to control, but also to do data analysis between projects, between constructors, between locations. For example, if through a solution we can measure digitally with no intervention, with no human intervention, how long does a foundation takes from projects in the north, from projects in the south. Then we can do analysis, we can take decisions. So this is a really long challenge, as if we could think like that, because it started with being on site, having the picture of the picture. It cannot be a picture, but having the picture of the building. But then we can go further to have more data, analyze that data, compare that data in a way to complement this technical inspector that he will still be there, but we want to standardize and have a more systematized way of getting data from the projects.
Perfect, thank you. So if anyone has questions, please go ahead. Here we have more information about this challenge. I don't know where to put this here. So as Thomas was saying, the challenge aims to increase the current level of knowledge about construction project by providing real-time information and access to statistics that facilitate decision-making. Here, decision-making is crucial for them, and this technical inspector is the only way today that they have to know what is going on in each site. So yeah.
And the only thing that I will emphasize is that we are searching. We are not close to, but we will be preferring solutions that are automatized. Because, for example, we know that there exist applications that workers on site can use and can upload information. That works also, that will be welcome, but anything that can do the same with no human intervention will be, I think, that more well received.
Perfect. So the third challenge is optimization of construction time in power transmission project. So here, when we talked about power transmission projects, we talked about from the design until the implementation. So all the process. We call it like critical route, like of the process. So you have an idea of the context. Each line goes from 10 to 300 kilometers. And on average, 500 kilometers of high voltage transmission lines are constructed each year. So it's a really big problem for Transelec, since it takes a lot of time, not only to plan, but to construct as well. So they're looking for solution in any phase of the project to help optimize the time. Sorry, this is there. So just to give you an example on what are the topics inside this, the construction phase, we have feasibility study and design. So there you can have solutions like BIM, or how to plan better the design as a digital experience as well. So as you see, there are a lot of things that if you have a solution, maybe it could fit for the first or the second or the third challenge. In case your solution applies to more than one, we ask you to apply different times to the program, since each challenge is separate from each other, is independent. So the idea would be to analyze, because you need to complete a form, and the form is going to ask you questions specific for each challenge. That said, let's continue. So also they're looking for solutions that could help them do the permits and license acquisition faster. So they're probably international companies gonna have a harder time to know. But if you have any questions on how it's done, you can also send that questions to us, and we can tell you what is necessary and what would you need to what would you need to offer that solution here. Site preparation, here we're talking not only about identification of the terrain and landscaping on, for example, geography and those kind of things. It's also like, for example, if it's a river coming down the mountains closer to the line, or some specific things, as Tomas said, and I repeated sometimes, Chile is a really long country, so we have different type of geography and different type of nature in each region. So it changes from desert to more Mediterranean, and then to the south to more forestry kind of geography. So they need a way to identify the terrain, but also what is going on around the possible line. 4 is the tower construction. So here we're talking about the foundation work and assembly the metal structures. Then we have the cable laying, that is basically installing the high voltage cables through the transmission towers along the line. And then testing and commissioning, so testing the line and also giving all the documentation to start working with the tower line. Here, Tom, I don't know if you want to add something.
Yes, we are focusing this challenge mainly in the points. Can you go back, please? From 3
Sorry.
to 6. The number 1 and 2 is still open, but the focus here is from 3 to 6, because the situation is like this. All of these steps or activities are, of course, not step by step. They are usually parallel, and as soon as we can start one phase, even if the last one is not finished, we will do it. But the thing that always is a stopper is the permission, the number 2 mainly, the permission, the license, etc. But that thing is really hard to address. It's really case by case, because we need to visit a lot of land owners, a lot of regulators, a lot of lawyers, whatever. So that is a really manual task. When that happens, when that is done and we can go and build, we have the point 3 to 6 to make it faster. So that's the more technical side of the transmission line building. We need to prepare the site, construct the tower, do the foundations, lay the cable. So what I mean is that anything that we can short need to be from 3 to 6, because that is what is our on our side. That's our task, our responsibility, our efficiency. The number 2 also, but it always depends. Let's say that we need to place a structure in a certain terrain, and the owner of that terrain don't want. He doesn't want to negotiate. He doesn't want to let us in. So that's a full other thing that we solve with lawyers, communities, whatever. And that sometimes is really easy, and sometimes it's really hard and takes long. So considering that part is done, the only thing left that we can do faster and better is from 3 to 6, the technical work to build the line. So that's why they are bold, because we need to focus in methods, solutions that let us optimize in those things, considering that the number 2 maybe is not always
So
cannot be
straightforward.
faster sometimes. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
And
So
sorry, Renato, and
yeah.
those times, those durations, 2 to 3 months, 7 to 8, is a usual line, like a 100-kilometer line. You can expect those durations for each phase. It's also dependent. This everything all the time. It depends on the site. If it's in the north, for example, in the north of Chile, there's a lot of there's pretty much nothing in the desert, so we can go and build with no problem, with no owners problem, with no national parks, etc. So we can just build, and you can expect all of these phases to be really step by step. But in the south, we usually have a lot of rain problems, property problems, other problems. So in the south, it's more like what you can do, you do it. Maybe you will do the cable laying for the first third of the line, even when the second third is not built, because you cannot enter those terrains. But you will still do the first, and then at the end of the project, you will retake the second third and stuff like that. So it's not always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but it's like a common duration of a 100-kilometer project, those that you can see.
Perfect. Thank you. So as a sum up of this challenge, that is the more technical challenge that we have, we focus on reduce the construction time in terrain mapping, excavation and foundation, cable laying and commissioning. So we're open to hear about applications, technology systems, any construction method, other materials, any solutions that you may think that could help in any of these aspects. You're more welcome to apply. If you have a solution that is not fully developed and you think it could be developed in the next couple of months, or you're doing a technical check during these days, please apply as well. Maybe you're not going to be chosen to do the pilot, or depends also on the expectations that you could create in Transelec. But it's a good idea to be in Transelec mind, that you are developing something that could help them in the future as well. So please be free to ask questions. I'm gonna check if all the participants can speak. Yeah, you all can ask questions if you want. If you don't have any questions, you're free to apply on the website on the screen. Feel free also to reach on the website. You can find my email at the end of the website at the bottom. there is a contact us, and you can send a direct email if you have any question regarding a challenge, you need more information. Just to sum up, what we're looking for is a startup or a solution, an innovative solution that could help us solve the issues. This program is not focused on consultancy companies, so there is no time for you to raise or build up a solution, a specific solution. What we expect is if your solution matches with what we're looking for and you need to do some changes, that could work, but not a consultancy project from scratch. That said, we're open for questions and also to reply any questions you may have later on as well. Thomas, I don't know if you want to add anything.
No, that's clear.
Perfect. So apparently we don't have any questions. No, nothing here. Okay, so thank you guys for, we have one. Could you send the recorded file? Yes, sorry, I didn't said that before. We're gonna share this webinar with you. It's recorded, so we're gonna share it with all of you. If you want the presentation, I can share it as well. But all the information that we spoke is most of it is in a website as well, so you can check it there. If you have any questions, also you can contact me. There is no problem in that.
Perfect. Sorry.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, hello.
Hi.
And this is Erudino from Circe, yes. It's just going to ask regarding the recorded file, because is it possible to get also the Spanish version? Because we are from Spain and it's quite late to see the Spanish version.
Yes, no problem. I'm gonna share the Spanish version with you guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm gonna share one screen with both versions, so you can download the one that you prefer.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well. So thank you everyone for connecting. As I said, if you have any questions, please reach out. Me and Thomas, we're gonna be answering as fast as we can. And remember, the application deadline is until the end of the month. So yeah, I'm gonna stop recording now. And also stop sharing. So thank you for joining us, and take care.
Goodbye. Thank you all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thanks.